Chris, we've heard a lot this offseason about just kind of the new bodies in the secondary, the way you guys have revamped there through just 3 days of practice. Can you kind of tell the difference with how many new bodies you have and kind of how reinforced the group is?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've improved tremendously back there. Not only new bodies, but the same bodies, right? Being in the system for a year and getting to know the coaches for a year and things like that. We see vast improvement. We see competition. We see guys flying around in practice. It's been really good the first 3 days.
Chris, I asked DJ the same question, but everybody knows statistically where this defense was last year. But at the end of the season, it showed flashes of getting a lot better. What do you carry over, if anything, from that to give these guys confidence that a turnaround is possible?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, first and foremost, nobody knows more than us as a defense, statistically, where we were last year. We wear that and we eat that, and that motivates us every single day. And that's the most important thing. I think we've all shouldered that, and we're all ready to prove everybody that we can improve, and we are going to improve, and there can be a drastic improvement from one year to the other. I think the confidence is real. We played well at the end of the season. We started clicking a little bit and coming together, and it took a little longer than we hoped. But the thing is, it just wasn't at the end of the season. We improved in winter. We improved in spring. We've improved from what we've seen. So we're constantly still getting better and better. I think that's the most important thing. We can gain some confidence at the end of last season, but in spring we could have taken a step back. We didn't do that, and I think knowing and shouldering exactly who we were on defense last year every single day, and knowing that is what drives us to be better.
Is it tough to balance that confidence with not letting the guys get overconfident or complacent in that?
I mean, yeah, that's life, right? That's everything. That's if you look in the past, you can either get down or you can have an ego, right? If you look in the future, you can forget about where you are in the present. You've got to live in the present, right? You've got to maintain confidence without an ego, right? You got to maintain confidence without being overconfident. That's the balance of sports, athletics, life, everything. That's what we do as coaches, right? We're not just X's and O's. We're trying to take men and make them see the world the right way and keep them motivated in all walks. So yeah, I think that's the beauty of what we do is keep them right where we need to keep them.
Otis Reese as a difference maker on that defense. You guys had the misfortune to have to play most of last year without him. He's out there now. I mean, what kind of difference does Otis make?
I mean, yeah, Otis is tough. He's physical. He runs around. He's smart. I mean, he's a real deal football player. So obviously, when you got a guy like that on the field, it's a big part of who you are. He came in last year. What he did last year was unbelievable. I mean, to run scout team all year, get eligible, and then play 80-something snaps in one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest game of the year, and play really well and grade out like he did. I mean, that's just a credit to who he is. So yeah, he's an emotional leader. He's a physical leader. He's all that, to the defense. The nice thing is now he's not the only one, right? So we got guys around him now that are there as well.
You guys have guys. Y'all have a lot of maturity on the defense side of football. Momo, Jalen Jones, the list goes on and on. How does that help? As far as bringing together as a cohesive unit and things like that, to have those older guys be there to kind of set the tone, particularly when you're relying on a lot of newcomers on this defense this fall. Yeah,
that's huge, man. I mean, player-led, not coach-fed, right? When the players are leading and they have a maturity, that's what you want as a coach. I think it's huge too, just to understand like the progression of teaching, right? I mean, we go in there, we install schemes last year, and it's all great, and they're learning schemes, and we couldn't really get into, okay, now here's how offense is attacking, here's what happens here, here when the split's cut here, when the running back's here, all those little things, when the ball's in this territory, those are hard to do right away, especially, coming off a year where, we didn't have a spring ball, right? We didn't have them for a while. Now, because we have maturity, because we have the Kedrons, the AJs, the guys that played a lot of football, right? Obviously the guys Momo, Lakia, Jalen Jones, those guys that you named, because we've had those guys not only in the system, but also with those experience on the field, we can get into the finer details of coaching. We can get to where we want to be.
You brought up Kedron. What do you like about the move to him with safety instead of playing him at corner?
Love it. Love it. I mean, talk about a guy that just, a lot of this thing goes with trust, right? I mean, trusting in your coaches, trusting in your teammates, trusting everything, right? Trusting, like, where this team is going. Well, how about Kedron, man? 3-year starter. We say to him, hey, we think you can help us inside. Did not bat an eye. Yes, coach. Boom, moved inside, flying around, looks great in there. I mean, that, when you then really look at a team and say, look what this guy just did. He could have said, no, I'm staying at corner. This is where I'm comfortable. He didn't, because he trusts his coaches, right? That's ultimately what you want a team to get to and where you want to be. And, having a leader that has that much experience, be able to do that, shows the younger guys the way, like you said.
Is there anything to theorize in the fact that, you guys were first-year staff last year, y'all came from all over, and then COVID hit, and everything was turned upside down, that y'all as a staff now have had time to get to know one another, to become more cohesive. Is there any advantage into that versus last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing, like, last year was not an excuse. We should have been better. Okay, so COVID, whatever it is, we should have been better on defense. That's the bottom line, right? But when anytime, right? Anytime, you're with somebody in year 2, and you have that cohesiveness and that tightness, and like how things, how this person acts and how this person acts, or what the head coach wants ultimately. Anytime that experience helps, of course. So you're going to naturally take steps up when the staff stays like that and intact and all that. So you're naturally going to take a step better, and be up. We're trying to, like, really climb that thing fast, because it is year 2, plus we underperformed last year.
Preseason top 25 just came out. Y'all are on it.
Rat poison.
So you don't address it at all?
Rat poison.
Okay.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.